For well over a year, some of the most prominent psychiatrists in the United States have been warning us that Donald Trump's rhetoric and his actions are inspiring acts of violence around the United States. This is a sentiment that's been shared by organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center that actually tracks these kinds of crimes, as well as other experts and activists. They've been telling us the exact same thing. Well, this week, Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin was supposed to meet with two of these psychiatrists, one of them being Dr. Brandi Lee, who is the editor of the recent book, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump. And instead, this meeting had to be canceled because they were receiving violent threats from Donald Trump's supporters because they wanted to sit and talk about the mental health of Donald Trump, which, as Dr. Brandi Lee pointed out, literally confirms everything that they have been warning us about with regards to Donald Trump. They say that his words inspire acts of violence, so they're going to go talk about it, but the meeting has to be canceled because of the violent threats they were receiving. And this is the other side of the Donald Trump mental illness coin that we haven't really discussed too much. That is not just that this man has a problem, but that his problems are creating other problems out here in the United States, specifically with the incitation of violence among American citizens perpetrated by his supporters. We have seen this happening in this country since he was just a candidate in the primaries. The Southern Poverty Law Center has done a phenomenal job of tracking all of these hate crimes that have been committed by Donald Trump supporters against minorities, against Muslims, against immigrants, against anyone that Donald Trump has told them is an enemy of the United States. Donald Trump's words do have real-world consequences, and they're not consequences that anyone should be proud of or that anyone should welcome. And it all goes back to this potential mental illness that Donald Trump may have. He thinks he is above the law. He thinks he is better than everybody else. And he knows that in order to stay in office, he has to get the support of the alt-right. So he's going to go out there at every opportunity and say that those neo-Nazis who killed a woman, there were still some very fine people in there. But if you're an NFL player and you're black and you kneel during the national anthem, you're a son of a bitch. That's the world of Donald Trump. It is racism. It is sexism. It is disgusting rot all the way through his brain. And those people who still support him and are willing to threaten violence against others because they love Trump so much, I'm willing to bet and I'm willing to say that they suffer from the exact same kinds of mental illnesses that the president does. There is no rational thinking, normally functioning human being that can look at Donald Trump and say that's what a president should look like. If you believe that that is what a president should look like, I strongly suggest you go get a mental health evaluation because there's something not right. There's something not right about this administration. There is something not right about this country today. And to be honest, most of it begins with Donald Trump. If you're thinking about subscribing to our channel, I strongly encourage you to do that. But if you're not thinking about subscribing, I would encourage you to start thinking about it, and then once you're thinking about it, actually go and do it. You can see the subscribe button right there on the screen, or if you're watching on a different platform, go to youtube.com/theringofFire.